Hi, Hannah Inman with Hard Hats High Heels. Today I'm with Mike Inman, owner of KDC Built, in this beautiful home that they have for sale in Urbandale, Iowa. But today, Mike, we're not going to talk so much about the beautiful finishes you put in and the great amenities.
No.
We're going to talk about the energy efficiency of this home.
That'd be great.
So tell me, are all your homes this energy efficient?
They are. They absolutely are. We use what's called a HERS rating. And what we do is we have an independent energy company come through and rate all our homes. So before we ever start the plan, once we get, actually I should back up. Once we get the plan drawn, we have the independent company come in and do a rating on our, before we ever build the house. Then what we do is they take the overall air loss, the type of insulation that we're going to use, the type of materials we're going to use, and then throughout the construction process, we do an insulation inspection with them, and then at the end, we do what's called a blower door test and a furnace test as well. And that determines the overall value of the house, and then what it applies for is the Mid-American Energy rebate.
So this isn't just a one-time, let me come in, look at your stuff. This is a whole process.
That's correct. It's a whole process. What they do is they take the overall home and they take the process of the home during the construction with the materials that we use and the amount of air that's moving throughout the house, and that's how they determine the heat rating.
Has this process changed anything that in how you build or what materials you use?
Yeah, it's changed in the last, I'm going to say, probably 10 years. You know, a lot of new construction homes, you're seeing programmable thermostats, insulation in the mechanical rooms, in the basement, low E-glass windows. All those types of things are determined and help in the Energy Star of each home that we build. It's just a real value to the homeowner when they move in. We use 92% efficiency furnaces, they're direct vent, water heater and furnace, things like that.
So what that translates to is, I hear all the mumbo jumbo, but for the homeowner, it actually translates into lower utility bills.
Exactly. It should translate into lower utility bills with the products that we're using.
So not only do you save the earth, but you're paying less too.
Exactly. Now, there is other ways to take it a step further as well. In a lot of the new construction houses, you'll see the 92% efficiency furnace, the 14-SEER air conditioner, things like that. If you wanted to go to a higher level, there's what's called an air-to-air heat pump. There's also what's called the geothermal system. Those are other ways that you can save money. It just depends on how much you want to spend for those items.
And how long you'll probably stay in the home.
Exactly.
So have you put those products in?
I have. I've put geothermal in houses. I've put in-floor heating. In-floor heating helps with your energy bill. But for an example, a normal house is going to probably run you $7,000 to $8,000 for a heating system, for a conventional heating system. In a geothermal house, it's probably going to run you an additional $20,000 to $25,000. So that's where the homeowner really needs to think, is this something I'm going to be in for the next 10 years to recoup that value? And it is a huge savings on your electric bill, but over time, you got to figure out if you're going to be there for the long haul.
Great. Would you mind showing us some of your systems in the house?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Well, Mike, here we are in the mechanical room of your house here in Urbandale, and I got to admit it's nice and toasty in here.
It is. It's very toasty. You know, on MTV Cribs, they always say the master bedroom is where the magic happens. But here, for the home builder, the mechanical room is where all the magic is. So, a couple things I want to point out. We have a direct vent, power vent water heater here. It's an energy efficient water heater. It takes air up and out the side of the house. So that's one savings, it's the water heater. The other one is we have a direct vent furnace as well, which is an Energy Star, the furnace that we put in.
So
it's the 92% efficiency.
So the two things to always look for are the direct vent and the Energy Star stickers.
Exactly, Energy Star stickers. A couple other things that we do. On every house we put a fresh air cycler on, which is up there. It's not really that exciting to look at. But what that does is there's a setting on our furnaces that basically every so often, depending on the size of the house, it brings fresh air into the house. Now,
so that helps with the air quality?
It helps with the air quality. So it's always constantly 4 to 5 times an hour bringing in fresh air, depending on the size of your house. It has a setting on it. You can do another thing, which is called an air exchanger, which is very energy efficient. efficient, which brings air in, but it also heats it up at the same time. So that's an energy efficient tool to save money as well. Now, again, that comes back to cost, what people want to spend on these items.
So by heating the air up, it's just making your furnace not work as hard.
Right, where this is just bringing in air from the outside into your furnace. But it does help with the air quality like you talked about, because it's always constantly. I've talked to a lot of people that think they get sick less because it's always bringing in air. The other thing is we build our houses anymore so tight that indoor air quality is a big issue. So what this does is brings fresh air into the home.
Cool.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So those are some big items. A couple other things that we do with our houses. We've got insulation up along the band board of the house. You can't really see that right now, but we always insulate around. Going back to insulation, our garages are always insulated. We use an insulated garage door. We've started to use on the majority of our house, which is called a bib system for insulation. We found that it just works a lot better than the blanket insulation. And what this is a mesh that we put up in between our 2x4s, and we actually blow pieces of fiberglass insulation into the studs.
So what does that do?
So it gets around the outlets tighter. It seals areas that you normally wouldn't get with pushing a blanket up against them. It seals more in those areas. We also caulk, obviously, all the crevices, cracks between 2x4s and everything before we drywall. And the nice thing is that with the energy company that we use, the independent energy company, we do an insulation inspection as well. So that helps, because then if there's anything my guys miss, there's someone that's a third-party source that comes out and says, we need to fix that.
That's awesome.
So it's nice to have an extra eye.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Mike, for showing us.
Well,
this
thank you,
today.
Anna.
It's great to see you again.
Good to see you.
Up next, more from Hard Hats, High Heels.